hope you've been having a wonderful, wonderful week. And even if not, it's okay too. I've been having a pretty good week, I think. I'm in a really good mood. I'm having a great day. I guess we'll talk about that. But let's talk about the weather. The weather is such a boring topic. Oh man, I hate talking about the weather, little bunny. But I'll talk about it because it's relevant. Because springtime/summertime has arrived in New York City. Today it was just like bam. The sun is beating down. And it's crazy in New York because there's concrete in all directions. So not only does the sun beat down, but it gets absorbed by the street. And now the street is like this frying pan that's radiating heat up from below, and the sun is coming from above. And then there's all these tall buildings, many of which are made of brick, that are kind of getting you from the sides. So I was getting cooked, little bunny. Your daddy was getting cooked. And it's so funny. I spent half the year braving the cold wind in my coat, saying, I can't wait for the cold weather to be over. Can't wait for the cold weather to be over. And then you know what happens, little bunny? The cold weather is over, and you know what pops to mind? I can't wait for it to be cold again. Oh, it's like the cat that... Do you have a cat, little bunny? You know this if you have a cat. Little bunny's little cat asks to go outside. It goes, meow, meow, meow. I want to go outside. Outside is so awesome, especially because I can't get there. I can see outside. And man, wouldn't my life be great if I could go outside? Then you stop what you're doing and you get up and you open up the door, and the cat is so happy to bounce out the door into outside. Maybe they don't bounce. I don't know how excited cats are when this happens, but regardless, very soon after you close the door and you go back, you hear meow. Because what does little bunny's little cat want to do? Little bunny's little cat is like, man, this whole inside thing, now that's a good idea. And we might say, oh, foolish little cat, foolish little bunny's little cat. You're such a stupid little cat for falling into this clear psychological trap. And you know what, little bunny? You and I are no better. So I had that moment today. Finally got my warm weather. And I was like, I can't wait for autumn. Are you doing that in your life right now, little bunny? Be honest. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's something else. What is you want to be outside. You're like, oh, my life would be so much better if I could just have da-da-da. And if this would happen and da-da-da. Let me tell you a little secret, little bunny. A little secret from your daddy. Your daddy has been around enough to see this happen, and he knows it's very true. I don't want to say it's going to be a letdown, but there's a good chance you'll get that thing, and then you'll be like, man, I miss those days before I had this thing. Oh, it happens. Rose-tinted glasses is the phrase. Where I guess the metaphor is you put on this pair of glasses and it makes everything look really rosy and makes it look better than it is. And rose-tinted glasses are specifically referring to something in the past. So, oh man. I guess I'll tell a little bit of a story. So, Queen Little Bunny and I have been together. We're met before the pandemic. Speaking, if you want to be timeless, this is the 2020 COVID pandemic. And lockdown was very Well, I don't want to go into COVID, it's an unhappy topic, but she hated it, as did everybody. But she really hated the lockdown. She wanted to be on doing stuff. And I was like, Queen Little Bunny, let's be responsible in not propagating this pandemic. And so she hated it. It was like hellish. Not hellish, I'm being extreme. But then, what happened, Little Bunny? Now, when everything's back open, she's like, I miss the days when we had lockdown and we curled up on the couch and watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. And you know what? That was awesome, I'll have to admit. As much as I don't want to talk about other intellectual properties in the garden, that's basically a perfect television show. And I won't say it's my favorite, but I think it's as close to flawless of a TV show as I've ever seen. And it's very fun to watch if you have a partner who's very playful to watch it with. I don't think I would have enjoyed it on my own. Anyway, that's a good show. If you're looking for a world to get lost in, I think I could recommend that one. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Okay, what next, Little Bunny? I have a beverage today. And it is a hot beverage, which is a bad decision. You are going to have to help me figure out what my blazing hot summer beverages are going to be, because I can't be drinking hot tea in a hot room. 1 second, I'm going to sneeze. Am I? Hold on. I don't sneeze that much on the podcast, do I? I don't know. Oh man, I just poured this tea and it's hot in my hands. And yeah, I'm just not feeling a hot beverage right now. Here's the conundrum, Little Bunny. Maybe you can help me solve this. I love cold beverages too. They're delicious. They're refreshing. However, I think all the cold beverages I like pretty much are carbonated. And I taught a class one time on Zoom during the days of the pandemic, which it hasn't really gone away, but the age of the lockdown where everything went on to video calls. I gave a college lecture, actually, Little Bunny. Are you impressed to know that your daddy is a smarty pants teaching college? Not as full time. I won't tell you too much about what I do. It's one of many things I have done, and I'll talk about telling you stuff that I do a little bit later. But I got one of my favorite beverages. I was like, I'm gonna nail this Zoom class. And I got one of the sparkling ice beverages. They're so tasty. And they're zero sugar too, which that will also be relevant. The zero sugar thing is important for the rest of this podcast. And I was just burping the whole way through the class, Little Bunny. It was so bad. Oh. And what's awful about Zoom class from the teacher's perspective is that you get no feedback. So I had a pretty funny, entertaining class. And genuinely, because I had given it in person and I gave it remote. So I know that it was good content. And it's just I'm just looking at my slides. I'll say something funny or I'll play a funny clip. And it's just me looking at my slides. It's a very bizarre experience. So I'm just burping, looking at my slides, talking to myself. I would like to not replicate that with you, Little Bunny, on the Lindy's Garden podcast. I don't even think of this as a podcast, really. It's just a convenient name for it. It's really just me hanging out with you for however long. I don't even time it. I'm looking at a blank screen right now. I got to make sure my software is recording me. Okay, good. And then I slide on over to just nothingness. So it's just me hanging out with you. Where are you? I have a little figurine that I like to have. Oh, yes. Here you are, Little Bunny. Do you want a little kiss? Okay, here's how the kiss is going to work. Take like your middle finger and your ring finger, and you make a little pad out of them, and you're going to go like on your wherever you want the kiss. So maybe on your forehead. So when I kiss the little bunny figurine, you're going to take your middle finger and ring finger and just go like that. Sorry to sniffle in your ears there. Okay, ready? Here comes your kiss. 1, 2. Oh, I just made weird burping sounds. Let's do that again, little bunny. 1, 2. There you go. Got your little kiss. Yeah, I would love to keep like the weird body sounds to a minimum. Bodies make sounds. It's something I wish I could fix. You'll learn this if you ever start your own podcast, which, by the way, multiple of your fellow bunnies have started podcasts after being inspired by the Lindy's Garden radio show. God, that's such a stupid joke. At least it was that time. Maybe I can nail it some other time. Daddies are allowed to make bad jokes. In fact, it's part of the job description. Okay. Shall we drink this tea, little bunny? Here we go. It's pretty good. Oh, I forgot to unsteep it. I said it's pretty good. It's actually kind of bitter, and that's because I left the tea bag in. Okay, let's fix that. Let's fix it. It's kind of too late already, but okay. Slow down, Daddy. Okay, what do I want to get better at? I was just going to give myself the compliment that I've actually gotten better at reducing a lot of... I'm going to give you a sampling of sounds that you may notice if you start your own podcast, when you start recording yourself. Here's one. You're about to speak in. You just do this. It's this weird tick. And also... what's some other ones? I can't think on the spot. There's various little things. Like opening your mouth without making a sound is very hard. You have to really practice it. Oh yeah, I open my mouth now. Sometimes you have to this is good radio. Okay, this is not good radio. I don't know, little bunny. Do you want to hear this? You want to hear about how your daddy opens his mouth when he talks to you? Okay. I use my tongue to peel open the lips, because otherwise you get this. So maybe I'll add in some of those for fun. Okay, this is ridiculous. Little bunny, what am I even trying to talk about today? Your daddy is in a very silly mood. I hope that can bring you some joy. I think it does. Nothing brings joy like a little bit of silliness, does it? Oh, I've got so much to fill you in on. I had some meetings about you, little bunny. Had some confidential meetings with experts about you, little bunny. Yes, about you. I'm talking about you, little bunny. In good ways. Scheming how to be better for you. How to make your life as good as possible. Okay. Where should we go to from here? I guess I'll just tell you what I've been up to. So I was talking last week about debating whether to tell more about my personal life, things like that. Debating how important is anonymity. Obviously the mystique, the mysteriousness is part of the fun, so certainly would never want to lose that. You can imagine what kind of attractive I am, because I'm attractive. That much I will reveal, little bunny. Not just my voice, not just my personality, but you would walk down the street and you would gasp, and you would drop your phone right there and it would shatter, and you wouldn't care because you'd be gazing on the image of a god. Yeah. Confidence is attractive too, isn't it? Okay, little bunny. Yeah, so I had a meeting with a therapist, someone who deals with like career type things, life changes, things like that. So that would be a pretty big life change if if I were not so anonymous. And that was helpful, but I can't remember what he said. But I remember it was helpful. Isn't that horrible? But then the second person I talked to was like more of like a life coachy person for content creators, which I would like to say, if you have the choice between a life coach and a therapist, do you know what the important difference is, little bunny? Let's a little quiz. If you have to decide whether to talk to a therapist or a life coach, what is, I would say, the most important distinction? And the most important one is that to be a life coach, all you have to do is say you're a life coach. That doesn't mean all life coaches are bogus. But even this guy, like in his opening pitch, he's like, yeah, by the way, most life coaches are total bogus. That's not to say, and this guy was legit, so don't worry about that. But a therapist, it's hard to be a bogus therapist. You have to go through a lot of training, which is, to the best of my knowledge, is evidence-based, which is that's the, when you hear that term, you should perk up. Evidence-based. That will lead you to good quality stuff. So therapy is like an intense accreditation. Accreditation? Is that a word? Yeah. You can't just say you're a therapist. So if you get a therapist, you're in good hands. I guarantee. So in addition to the meeting with a therapist, I got a consultation with a life coach who does content creator stuff. And there was some really good insights about that. And I guess that'll lead us. I'm not really ready to talk about the main topic of the podcast today. It feels too structured. I feel very structured right now. I want to make this more about you. You want some more comfort, more chocolate voice. Yeah, ultimately, this is, all that matters is me just spending time with you. It's really what it comes down to. I like spending time with you. It is so freaking hot. You know what, little bunny? I can't turn on the air conditioning while I hang out with you. Did you know that? Because it makes noise. Maybe someday I will live in a place with a quieter air conditioner. That will be a priority next time we find a place to live and to move on up in the world, little bunny. I guess that's kind of the topic. I don't really want to talk about the topic yet. Feels forced. Maybe I just want to hang out with you. I want to give you some comfort. There's never any objective to these. We're already winning just by being here together. Daddy and little bunny. Oh, speaking of victories, and this is maybe why I'm in such a good mood. I completed and recorded the first rough read of the next episode of A Year of Love and Ligature, my erotic audio book. And that's a big deal for me because I had put it on hiatus unintentionally. And it's just nice to be able to see tangible progress, that even if I had a setback, I'm back in it. Back in it, little bunny. And it's a great episode. The rough read was horrible. I have to go back and edit the episode. It's in a horrible format right now. It's not well told. But the core of the episode is really solid. So I guess I'll talk about that for a second. Why not? I think the main topic is actually, it's something important that the life coach said about the garden. And it's bad news and liberating news. So I have been playing a game of sorts called How Does Daddy Not Get Banned? Because the garden is honestly one of the most wholesome, objectively good things in the world. It's just such a good thing. It's a force for such positivity. It's so wholesome. And to me, sex can be very and should be very wholesome. It's something basic that is core to our entire lives. It's the biological programming of your life is to see your genes replicated in the future, whether by your own children or by your family or just even humans in general. Being good to other humans is part of your biological purpose as well, believe it or not. But yeah, I asked the guy about corporate sponsors. And if you go back and listen to older podcast episodes, I was really happy when the podcast grew to a point where it's large enough to where sponsors would be interested. Because you have to be at a certain size before you can get a sponsor. And he was like, yeah, give up on sponsorships because companies are so sensitive to the slightest bit of controversy. So if I have an 18 plus Patreon where there's things like guided masturbations and there's, I guess it's role playing. I don't know. I let the dark side of me out a little bit. The side of me that was describing how I look and you dropping your phone and how lucky you are, little bunny, to be in my presence. That side of me. There's a healthy way I can let that out on the Patreon. It's 18 plus, so please don't join if you're not actually 18. But a third to a quarter of the Patreon is that kind of stuff. And he was like, yeah, Gatorade's not going to sponsor you if you have a guided masturbation as part of your umbrella of content. And I just find that kind of hilarious. And I'll explain why. It's freaking hilarious. So the bad news is that your daddy is going to probably not be able to cash in on social media presence the way typical influencers do. Because you don't make money just by having followers. You get money by, putting on some kind of moisturizer in front of your followers and then being sure to tell them which moisturizer it is. And then they tuck you a many $1,000s under the table. It's not that under the table, but if I were to, if I said, hey, Gatorade, I'm going to just have Gatorade on the table for my next TikTok. Will you buy me a condo that has a quiet air conditioner so I can have the air conditioner on while I talk to my little bunny? And the life coach guy was like, yeah, there's just no way any typical sponsor would. Any sponsor that's outside of the 18 plus world. So I could get a sponsor with sex toys, things like that, or he said Playboy or something like that. I'll consider that, but that also doesn't necessarily seem to be quite the same thing that I'm doing either. I don't know. I'll think about it. But are those companies going to be dismayed to know that I, have a wholesome slant to things? That like it's not all about sex. That it's just a subset of this larger thing, which is just me being me into a microphone with my little bunny. And all the ways that a daddy can be with their little bunny. Yeah. It's a very wonderful, beautiful thing. And we're both lucky to have it. And unfortunately, it's not all super hypersexualized. And it's not all super hyper non-sexualized. So the structures of other businesses, they don't really fit in with it. And of course, I have to be really careful. I don't even link to the Patreon from TikTok. You may have noticed. That's why there's not a link tree on the TikTok. It's just kind of it's just little breadcrumbs that lead you to the Patreon, the locked section of the garden. And you don't have to join the Patreon to be in the garden, little bunny. I feel like if you're in the garden. Yeah, if you're this far into a podcast episode, you're my little bunny in the garden. There's no doubt about that. So there's no price to admission. There's price to admission for the locked section. It's as cheap as I can make it, justifiably. And there's no different levels. A lot of patrons would be like, here's the $3 version and the $50 version, and the 51. I don't know. Do something. I don't know. It's every little bunny in the locked section is paying the same thing. Is that a good business decision? Not really. But yeah, so that's sort of the bad news, is that your daddy can't make money drinking a Gatorade. And why is making money important? I'm going to talk about that. Not just so your daddy can buy air conditioning so he can be blasted with cold air while he talks to his little bunny, but it means that I can do cooler stuff in the garden. So, the garden empire, I feel like is the theme of the podcast episode. If, little bunny, I'm not going to be paid by a sponsor to read an advertisement, which I hate advertisements anyway, so it's fine with me. But if there's no sponsor, then you know what I'm going to have to do, little bunny, is I'm going to have to make cool stuff for you. Can I say cool shit on the podcast? I don't know. I don't like cursing that much. I love... See, I don't know how much I can say 18 plus. I love crazy, wild 18 plus stuff. And I don't like saying shit that much. Aren't I so... not unusual, but don't I so not fit in either camp? There's this sort of sin-like trope, I guess. Is that the right word, little bunny? Sex is not a sin, okay? If you've been told that, shh, it's fine. Don't do it, if you haven't done it yet, don't, rush into it. There's literally no rush. Wait for when you're ready if you haven't done it before. That's all that matters. Okay, this is not a sex ed podcast either. What are we talking about, little bunny? Garden empire. Okay, so I'm going to have to make cool stuff for you, little bunny, and then I will read an advertisement to tell you to go buy the cool stuff. Now, it's going to be cool stuff that you want. This now sounds like a stupid sales pitch. Oh no, my thing stopped recording. Did it? Okay, I still got you. Oh, this is the worst way for me to try and announce something I'm super excited about, little bunny. Oh, I blew it. I'm not going to announce it right now. Maybe I'll announce it later in the podcast. Oh, I'm just so excited. Basically, the good news is that if I can't have a public partnership with some existing company, then I'm just going to have to make a bunch of cool shit in the garden, little bunny, okay? All right. What next? Let me give you another kiss. I feel like we want some more chocolate. Chocolate voice from my little bunny. And some comfort. What is it? Honey. Honey in this honey carrot episode. Okay, you want another kiss? Get your middle finger and your ring finger ready. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Did you feel that? Did you go all giddy? Yeah, you shook a little bit, didn't you? You were like, ooh, yeah. I know you, little bunny. I can read you like a book. How can this man have such incredible mind powers? I should play some mind games with you sometime. Oh, I do play mind games. I do, I do some spicy psychological domination in the locked section of the garden. That is mind games. There's one, I think I finally linked it on Instagram. I'm so far behind. I'm supposed to be giving you a sample of every locked audio on Instagram, but I don't think I should say the word hypnotize because I feel like I'm going to get sued. But I hypnotize you to not be able to move your wrists, and it gets stuck to your body. And then it's a very spicy audio, and I tell you ahead of time, and you might not believe me, little bunny. I'm like, little bunny, you have to set aside the full 30 minutes because you will not be able to stop. Oh, it's so good. I should do another one of those. Oh, man. That's for someone who hates manipulation. I love manipulation. Only when it's fun and when it's fun for both people. Put it like that. The ethical manipulator. I hate manipulation. That's advertising. I feel like is manipulation. You know what's manipulation is Gatorade, because they show you these advertisements of these people getting really fit, like drinking their Gatorade. It's like that is really unhealthy for you. That is very counterproductive to the objective of the people you are showing in your advertisements. So I'll allow you to drink sugar-free Gatorade, but of course that gets into the territory of artificial sweeteners, and we talked about that on the podcast. We asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT basically resolved it by saying, I don't know. So I'm not gonna tell you whether to drink things with artificial sweeteners or not, but I have no problem with it. So whatever beverage we choose for my summertime beverage, give me some advice or some ideas. You can email me. I keep forgetting to say you can email me because I haven't. I am always paranoid that some emails are not going through. So why don't you don't send me a test email. I'll be swamped. Why don't you, if you feel so compelled, if there's an idea you have for us, a nice, cool summertime beverage your daddy can have on the podcast, understanding that I don't want to do sugar too much, he says after he had hot chocolate on like 5 podcasts in a row. You can email me at lindy@lindysgarden.com or daddy@lindysgarden.com, whichever you prefer. So give that a go. Hopefully I'll get some emails which will tell me that it is working. What else, little bunny? Do you want me to tell you the cool thing that I have in store for you? Oh, it's going to be so good. ChatGPT is going to help me. Not to write it. It's a fiction thing. I've talked about this kind of thing on the podcast before. Oh, but I haven't told you specifically what this is. Oh, it's so good, little bunny. Oh, I cannot wait to make it for you. It'll be cheap too. Don't worry. anything that's expensive in the garden, by the way, is just if it like costs a lot to produce it. So the hoodies are expensive, but that's because the cost of like making a hoodie, there's so much that goes into it with the shipping and the design and the this and that, that I still only make just a little bit of money off that. So if you want to support me, the best thing to do is to honestly, I mean, in terms of money, is just Patreon, because I get to keep the vast majority of that, or just the majority. The hoodies are awesome. But you should only get that if you want the hoodie, because they're expensive. It's always fun to see a bunny in a hoodie, though. But please do not buy a hoodie for my sake. Buy a hoodie for your sake. And if you want to do something for my sake, little bunny, you need to follow me on every platform. That's what you can do for my sake. And every time you see a TikTok, it turns out that copy link does not count as a share. You want to know who told me that? ChatGPT. So you are going to have to, every time you see one of my TikToks, every single time, little bunny, a share is like a huge rocket fuel to send something viral. Hit share and then just like text it to yourself or something stupid like that. Okay. You have to trick the app into it linking into something else. And I don't even think you have to open the link. I think it counts if you just send it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because the shares show up right away, so it wouldn't make sense if you had to open it, because there would be a delay. Anyway, yeah, you know what you can do for me if you really want to do something for your daddy? Follow me on every platform. The new one is Twitter, and I leave you voice notes. I should probably not say, I'm leaving you voice notes on Twitter. Kind of scares you. Little bunny, I'm leaving you voice notes on Twitter. Or maybe I should do that to make your heart jump and play manipulative games. I don't want to cause you any distress. If I ever cause you distress, little bunny, please believe it's accidental. Okay? And I will never purposely hurt you. I will never purposely just try to make your life worse. I'm just doing my best here. It's a hard job. It's not a hard job to love you. That's easy. It's a hard job to never accidentally hurt your feelings or say something that you don't like. I really do my best, and my intentions are to be a 100% positive influence on your life. I want to keep saying that and really hammer that home, both for you and for me. My goal is to be a 100% positive influence on your life. Okay, what are we talking about? Okay, follow me on Twitter. Twitter is going to be a very safe place for the garden. TikTok, though it is the largest, is the least safe place for the garden. Oh my God, it's so unsafe in so many ways. The chances that the Lindy's Garden TikTok is gone in 5 years, pretty high. Okay. I mean, I'm going to do my best to get to not, but it's like the U.S. government might ban it, or like they might, I don't even say daddy on TikTok. I'm really, really careful. But they're just like, they ban people like crazy. It's a horrible place to be a content creator. But it's got a ton of people and it sends you viral. That's something it really does well. More than once it has sent me to millions of little bunnies. One of which is a hidden video, because it was in the era when my videos were getting taken down. You wouldn't believe it, little bunny. I had a video that got taken down that was like, it was like, if you want some love, leave a comment, and I want your fellow bunnies to leave you positive comments in return. Something like very like that. Okay. And of course I sound very sexy as I did it. And, I looked good in the TikTok too. And it got taken down for adult sexuality. Okay, that's TikTok. And they don't just take it down and say like, oh, we took that down for you. It's like they take it down and they say, okay, you do this one more time, we're going to ban you. And you can appeal it, but like appealing it doesn't affect bringing you closer to being banned. It's just, it's a total disaster. I used to have so much anxiety every time I checked TikTok. This is a stupid rant. Hey, Daddy, be nice to yourself. That's something you've told me, something you've taught me. I want to be nicer to myself. And I want you to be nicer to yourself too. Yeah? If you want me to be nice to myself, I want you to be nice to yourself, little bunny. Do we have a deal? Yes. Nod your head. Yes, little bunny. I'll be nice to myself. Your daddy will be nice to himself. Himself? Yeah. And my little bunny will be nice to their self. Got it? Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. So also, the fact that I'm not trying to convince Gatorade to sponsor the podcast is that I can breathe a little easier, you know? It's hard to get a podcast taken down. I think Spotify is a relatively safe place for the podcast. I think. And in the end, a podcast is just an RSS feed, which is just like a radio broadcast, essentially. So even if Spotify goes down or something, the podcast will never disappear. It'll just be placed on the internet. So, okay, what do we got? YouTube, little bunny. I want you to follow me on YouTube. Oh, let's see how we're doing on YouTube. I want to check that. YouTube videos take so long to make. Even though you'd think, oh, but Daddy, you just kind of walk around with a camera and talk into a microphone and then post it. And it's like, oh my God, I'm seeing an ad for the new Toyota Prius. Wow, it looks really good. Wow. Okay. We're moving on to electric vehicles, though. Let's see how we doing on the da-da-da. Yeah, it takes... You'd be surprised how long it takes, because I have to balance different... Oh, see here. Here's a channel violations, active community guideline strikes. I have a warning because Love and Ligature was on YouTube and an episode got taken down because fiction is very dangerous, little bunny. Fiction is very dangerous. Okay, the first episode is is a bit extreme, though, I have to say. So, the first episode could be triggering. So I guess that one is a little bit dangerous. But they didn't take down the first episode. They took down one that was just like a totally ridiculous episode. Okay. How are we doing on channel analytics? Let's check in on that. Ooh, we got a lot more subscribers, little bunny. How are we doing on watch time? Oh, we still got a long ways to go. Okay. I just got to make more videos. One of the metrics here is how many watch hours. We're at 400 public watch hours. So the Lindy's Garden YouTube channel right now has been watched for 400 hours amongst all the little bunnies of the garden. Hold on one second. I had run out of room on my recording software. That's okay. We're good now. I fixed it. What were we talking about, little bunny? Oh, yeah, we were looking at 400 hours of bunny and walking with Daddy. That's nice. That's pretty good. I think we're at 4 videos in. So, go check out those videos if you haven't seen me walking. The latest one is I take you to a neon light art exhibit. It's pretty cool, actually. And I'm getting better and better at the walk. But yeah, I have to balance the audio in all these different ways, and I have to cut it together, stitch things together. It also takes forever for the software to catch up because it's so CPU intensive. Okay. Oh, little bunny. What else do we talk about? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I really do. I don't know what else there is. I hate when I have to stop the recording because it throws off my momentum. Where's my little bunny? Get back here, little bunny. You know what's fun? Is I will always, always be here for you. Oh, little bunny. I enjoy you very, very much. And my life has gotten so much better since I decided to make this space for you. My life was awesome already. But it's given me even more love. Yeah. Part of the reason I can do it is because I have an utter infinite amount of love to give. And then it backfired, little bunny, and I got even more love back in return. So now what do I got to do? Okay, I will tell you the thing that I'm going to make. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you one reason I'm excited about it. One second, let me sip some tea while I think about what I want to tell you and what I'm going to keep secret. It's a piece of fiction. And it's interactive. And it requires programming expertise to make. And I asked ChatGPT, what engine should I make this in? And it told me. And then I said, ChatGPT, what code, like how do you write code for this thing? And it said Python, which is a programming language. And I don't know Python, little bunny. But I know what I need the Python code to do to make this thing happen, this piece of interactive fiction. And it's going to be so good, little bunny. It's going to be so good. I said, ChatGPT, write some Python code that does the following. And then I wrote a paragraph that was pretty complicated of like all these different variables because I know how to code elsewhere. I understand coding logic and things like that. And so I just conversationally said, ChatGPT, I need you to have this variable and it changes this way and then this can happen and the user input will be such like this and then this needs to happen if that happens. And it was just like a pretty convoluted ramble about what I need this Python code to do. And I hit return on my keyboard. And seconds later, ChatGPT has written the code for me. And then it told me what the code did in conversational terms that I could understand and I can follow. It's like, yeah, I see that. So, little bunny, ooh, there's some good stuff on your way. And if there's one thing your daddy will do, he will be on the cutting edge of technology. And whenever there are ways to bring the garden to you, in ways you can't even dream and I can't even dream yet because the tech doesn't exist yet. But there's things that I know are going to exist that I can't wait to give it to you, little bunny. Ugh. The coolest stuff of the garden has yet to come, I guarantee. Oh, you have no idea, little bunny. Oh, there's so many cool things that are coming your way. I have them in mind right now, and I'm tearing up thinking about how awesome it is. Oh. But we shall take things one step at a time. And you know what the next step is. For me to get to this cool thing that I want to do and to get to the next thing after that and the next thing. Do you know what very, very specifically it is? Or rather, it was to do the rough read of this new Love and Ligature episode. Because that is this kind of progress to where I'm going to be making new stuff. I've got autopilot now with the voice notes, locked audio every week. That's on autopilot pretty much. Sometimes I have to take a week off, or I have to take 2 weeks to make a piece of content if it doesn't turn out well right at first. But yeah, so once Love and Ligature is done, then I get to start working on this next project. Maybe I should start beforehand. Should I start now? No, I don't want to have too many projects. Love and Ligature, I think, is just 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 more episodes, which is a lot. They're about 45 minutes each. I got to figure out where to put that dangerous fiction. I might put it on Twitter. That'd be fun. Give you more reason to go there. Actually, no. Twitter is too... I don't think Twitter can handle Love and Ligature right now. I got to find the right spot for it. I might just do it on Patreon. I don't know. But I might make it free. Because it was originally free on YouTube. So if you started listening to it for free, I feel like it's wrong for me to try and make you pay to hear the end of it. Because it's a freaking good ending. You don't know what's coming for you, little bunny. I feel like the garden is more fun for me than it is for you. And that's understanding that you freaking love the garden. I know you do. I know this is a ton of fun for you. It's even more fun for me. Oh my God, little bunny. You get me off my butt making so many cool things. You got me off my butt exploring the city. I wouldn't have gone to see that neon light art exhibit if it weren't for you. And I would not have enjoyed it nearly as much if I didn't bring you along. You gave that to me. That's not an experience I would have had without you, little bunny. So you being there watching that, and me knowing that you're there watching it as I'm making it, even if we're separated through time a little bit. I don't see time so one-dimensionally. In fact, I don't think time is one-dimensional. I think that we sort of have blinders a little bit. We can talk more sci-fi later. By the way, I have sci-fi stories. Love and Ligature is sci-fi, actually. How have we elevator pitched it? It's my erotic shonen sci-fi reverse harem audiobook. Anyway, too much Love and Ligature talk. I don't want to talk your ear off, your little bunny ear off. Your little bunny ear did come off, and Queen Little Bunny came to the rescue. Created a bunny hospital. Maybe that'll be a product, the bunny hospital. I don't know what it would be. I feel like I should also say if you are experiencing a medical emergency. Dial 911 or the emergency services of your area. Because I do, having talked to the life coach and the therapist, I do want to make it clear that I am neither a life coach nor a therapist. And as much as I can help in that respect, it is to convince you to, if you need help and if you think you need help, maybe if you're not sure whether you need help, probably assume you do need help. And it's not a bad thing. It's like, you need help. I hate it when people do that. I've been through therapy, little bunny, and it's part of the reason I'm so put together to be your daddy. I would not be your daddy if I weren't stable and capable and wise. And those things started. My journey into that stable period of my life started with therapy. So get a therapist. If you can't get a therapist, open up to your family. Do you have a cousin? I say family because sometimes it can be a bit much. You don't want to burden your friends too much. I say that. Let me take that back. Your friends really are there for you. But there's something. One of the pros and cons of family is that they're there no matter what, right? So friends may come and go, and the best friendships are the ones that stay. So it's good to trust your friends, things like that. But just the nature of friendships is they can disappear. So it's okay to lean on your family in times of crisis, and I think that's very wise to do. If you think you need some help, like things are a little bit odd right now, I encourage you can do it right now if you want. Send a text message to someone in your family who is older than you and just say, hey, I just want to let you in on something that I'm feeling. It's hard for me to talk about this, so I'm saying it in text. And you can just say a little bit about how you're feeling. And that's what family is there for. I'm big on found family as well. And my goal is for the garden to kind of be a found family, actually. I set a goal. Bad daddy. There is no goal to the garden. If you don't want to reach, I'm not going to say don't reach out to your family, but if in addition to reaching out to your family, you want some found family, little bunny, go listen to the emergency plushie hug episode. It's one of the very best episodes. Oh, it's so good. That will prove to you beyond a doubt that you are truly, truly loved and you are not alone. That's the episode where your fellow bunnies on Discord, which is 18 plus, part of the Patreon, so please don't join if you're not 18. But your fellows fellow bunnies on the Discord. During the episode, I got on Discord. I was like, bunnies, everyone grab a plushie. We're going to do an emergency plushie hug, and we're going to record it as a podcast. And I just got all these. I just read, it was the whole episode, just me reading things that your fellow bunnies are saying to you specifically. So, yeah, it's weird that we're so separated in space. All right, I'm not about to start a bunny commune, but I don't know. I mean, I do know I'm not going to start a bunny commune. But it'd be nice if you knew some bunnies in real life. That's a goal I have with the hoodies, by the way. Is I want to, once the garden is big enough, right? We're getting there, but we're not there yet. When I start seeing hoodies around my city, then I know it's time to develop like a secret handshake. Can you imagine this? You're wearing your bunny hoodie out in the world, and you see someone else wearing a Lindy's Garden hoodie. Yeah, a daddy and little bunny hoodie, I think is what I call the logo. That is someone you want in your life, isn't it? So maybe I will, if the things get on. See, the bigger the garden is, the cooler the shit is that I can do. So I would love to create this secret handshake type of thing that you can do with any other person who you now know is a bunny who's wearing the hoodie at the same time. And you just, boom, you have a friendship right there. I'll make it easy to break the ice. I'll make it easy to become friends instantly. That's easy for me. I'm an expert at breaking ice and making friendships. So I'm going to find you some family, little bunny. Now, don't buy the hoodie if you can't afford it. Maybe I could do like, maybe we can have some free way you can do it. But I don't know how to have it be noticeable either. I don't know. Maybe it's the hoodie. Maybe it's just got to be the hoodie. I would make the hoodie less expensive if I could. It just costs a lot of money to make a hoodie. So, okay, little bunny. Should I wrap it up? I don't want to go. I never want to go. This is one of my favorite things to do all week. I drank hardly any of my tea, little bunny. Keep doing this to me. Stop that. You're a bad little bunny. I can do stuff like that a little bit more on the podcast because I'm not worried about Gatorade saying. Why am I picking on Gatorade so much? I don't know. I think it's because the garden is way more ethical than Gatorade. You know, sugar is bad for you. It does really bad things to your health. Says the daddy who ate like a cookie on one of the most listened to podcast episodes. Oops. Yeah. I strive not to be a hypocrite. And I will be better about that. But yeah, I mean, Gatorade is just like, there's a lot of sugar in Gatorade. So the garden is way better for you than Gatorade. So if Gatorade is like, oh, please, can we use some Lindy's Garden for our Gatorade bottles? Or they want me to read for a Gatorade ad. I don't know. Maybe I'll say yes if it means I can make some cool stuff for you. But if they're like, I don't know. I'd be like, I'm sorry, Gatorade. Your values of selling sugar, pretending to be, showing athletic people getting in shape, that does not align with the values of the garden. So I'm afraid you will have to go find your sponsorship elsewhere. Okay. I guess I'll leave it there. So I'm going to head to bed. I'm going to write you a poem tomorrow morning. I'm very excited. I'm not tired even slightly, which is bad. But I should probably climb in bed and do my thing. I love having you here. You're absolutely wonderful. You are treasured. I love you. I love you. I love you. This is just the beginning of many, many incredible things to come. Okay? Good night. Good morning, little bunny. I am looking outside at some incredible springtime weather, and I am going to read you your poem and get out of here because I want to go join. Okay, here's your poem. You ready? Happy springtime, little bunny. Go out and have fun. Leave your bunny coat at home. Now the warm season's begun. And while you're outside playing and sweating in the burning hot sun, please don't be forgetting that you wished for the sun to be shining all hot, and the stinging of the cold has been all but forgot. Enjoy what you've got, 'cause you wanted it bad. And when it's all gone, I guarantee you'll be sad. Now excuse me, my bunny. I'm wrapping this up fast. I've got to get outside. This springtime won't last. I love you, little bunny. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a great, great week. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you will have to imagine your daddy in the springtime as you grab your bunny coat. Okay, take care. Bye-bye now.